Hello everyone, I'm Katie, the Introverted Reader. Welcome back. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy 2022. It's a new year. Still the same old me. Don't worry, I'll never change. But yes, I wanted to say Happy New Year. Welcome back. This is my December wrap up. And as well, before I get started and everything, I want to say thank you because I hit 200 subscribers. That doesn't seem real. Even saying it out loud, it doesn't feel real. So I really just want to say thank you. That's really all I can say because, yeah, I genuinely would have just thrown the towel in on this channel a long time ago because yeah, I never thought that I would get to this point, like ever. So the fact that I am here, thank you. Anyway, so December on the whole wasn't a great reading month for me. I definitely tried to bite off more than I could chew. I did not reach my reading goal of reading 100 books, but that's fine. I got close. But it's fine. It doesn't matter. Quality over quantity. Because I did read a whole lot of amazing books. But I'm going to talk about the ones that I read and completed in December. I'm not going to talk about the ones that I haven't finished or that I'm currently reading. That will be in the TBR video. So yeah. Without further ado, let's hydrate. Are you hydrated? Have you taken a drink of water today? Take one now if you haven't. Anyway, so I somehow managed to read 5 books in December because like I work in retail and it was the Christmas season. Like there was no time for reading, and whenever I did have a day off, I was just too tired. But yeah, I somehow managed to read 5 books, but I ended up DNFing one. And I'm really sad about it because it was a book by 2 authors that I love and adore, and it was The Disasters by PC and Kristen Cass. I never thought I would see the day when I would DNF a book with these 2 names written on it. But this book just was not for me. First and foremost, it's way too short, in my opinion. I kind of felt like I was just thrown into the deep end. I was just thrown into the deep end, not knowing what was happening. I was so confused. I didn't know where or what or why. Like, I just felt like I was floating. Like, there wasn't really any real foundation for me to stand on when it came to this book. I couldn't even sit here and tell you what it's about because I'm still really confused. This series is not for me. I will definitely read anything else that these 2 lovely women put out. Like, you guys know, PC Cass is my favorite author of all time. She's so inspirational to me. Like, she inspired me to start writing my own books, so I owe her so much. And Kristen is wonderful too. Like, and they wrote the House of Night series. I love that series, but this series is not for me. It's not. And yeah, it did not hit the mark for me, and I didn't like the main character in this, the main girl. She annoyed me so much. She was so obnoxious, like, yeah, this didn't work out. But yeah, I'll read anything else that these 2 women put out, but this series in particular was not for me. One book that I fully completed and loved and adored, I read on my Kindle. I have an unboxing of this. It's one of my last videos, I think, before I took a break. So I think it's my very last video I did before I took a break for the holidays, but I read it on my Kindle, and it was Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. You guys know I'm trying to push myself out of my comfort zone, so I've been reading, I'm trying to like delve into the world of romance novels. Well, one specific genre of romance novels anyway. But yeah, I loved Get a Life, Chloe Brown. It's basically about this woman. She is in her early 30s, and one day she's out on a walk and she nearly gets hit by a car. Like, the car drives towards her and it swerves just in time, and she witnesses it crashing, and she goes through this and she thinks, yo, I haven't really lived, have I? Like, all I literally do is the same thing over and over. And, you know, and she decides to make this list. So she makes a list of all these things that she wants to do. She moves out of her parents' house because her family's really wealthy and rich. So she moves out of her parents' house and she moves into this wee flat, this like flat block. And the superintendent that is in charge of the flats is a man called Red, as in his full name is Redford Morgan. And Oh my goodness, I love him. Like, I loved her, I love him, I loved him. Like, I love reading a book with a romance that I just like root for. I'm just like, please just work it out and be together. You know you love each other. And that's what I got from this. And I absolutely adored it. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, but in my heart it's 5. Like, Chloe Brown was just it. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be reading the other 2 Brown sisters books. They might be, I think I might make, what's the second one? Danny Brown, a book club pick, but I don't know. Wait for the TBR for me to come up with that. But okay, so another book that I fully read and completed in December is kind of a leap from the contemporary romance, because it's Kingdom of the Curse by Carrie Maniscalco. I finally read it. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is the sequel to Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco, and it's basically about these 2 twin sisters living in Italy, and one of them is brutally murdered, and our other sister basically sets out for revenge to find out who killed her sister, and she gets pulled into the whole underworld, literally, and she makes a deal with a prince of hell called Wrath, who is... Oh, like, after reading this, I'm like, sir, your behavior has to stop. You're a danger to society. But yeah, see this? Oh my god. Guys, this series isn't young adult. I'm putting this out there. This series is not young adult. Lipstick on my teeth. What else is new? This series is not young adult. It's not. Don't be a wee youngin' and be reading this, okay? Like, be over the age of 18 before you read this series, okay? Please, especially this. Like, the first one is not so bad. Like, you could probably give that the YA card, but this one, absolutely not. Like, no. Like, but I gave it 5 stars. I loved it so much. I need the 3rd one, like, now. Who do I need to flirt with to get an arc of the 3rd one? Like, oh, I love Carrie Maniscalco. She's an author that I've definitely come to love over the past year or so. And yeah, I love it. I loved it. Have you read this? Did you love it? Please tell me you loved it, because I need to gush over it. Just protecting the Kindle. Okay. The next book that I read was Shadow in the Ember by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and I actually ended up reading this on my Kindle, because whenever Jennifer put out on her Instagram that this was available for pre-order, the only editions available was the e-reader or the hardback, and I didn't want the hardback. I wanted the paperback, because all my other books within this world in this series are in this format of paperback. So I pre-ordered the Kindle version, and I'm obsessed with this. Like, as soon as I got it, I was just like, well, it's on here anyway. I pre-ordered it, so I may as well read it on the Kindle. So I did, and it was pretty darn good. I gave it a solid 4 stars. It was good. Basically, it's about our main character called Seraphina, and she was chosen to be the maiden. She's basically to be given to the primal of death, because an ancestor of hers made a deal decades ago that the firstborn daughter would be given to the primal as his consort. And but basically underneath it all, she's not just the maiden, she's an assassin. So basically her family need her to go in, seduce the primal, make him fall in love with her, and then kill him. That's pretty much it. It is set within the same world as, obviously, From Blood and Ash and Flesh and Fire, and it talks about there's little Easter eggs in here. You would need to have read you would definitely need to have read From Blood and Ash and Flesh and Fire, at least, to enjoy this. So this is a Flesh and Fire novel. It's like, so From Blood and Ash, Flesh and Fire, and then a little branch, and then this. So yeah, this was good. Good solid 4 stars. The romance was pretty hot. The smut scenes were pretty hot. Like, Jennifer L. Armentrout knows how to write smut. But yeah, it was good. I had a fun time. You know, sometimes you just need some good fantasy, romance, smutty, good times to get you through the day, and that's what this was. And I'm really glad that I read it. So yeah, 4 stars for Shadow in the Ember. I'm so excited for A War of Two Queens. That's the 4th in From Blood and Ash, and I'm so excited for it. Another book that I gave 5 stars to, you're not going to be surprised. The Gilded Cage by Lynette Noni. Oh my god, you guys. Like, see this. If you like, I've been shoving The Prison Healer down everybody's throats for a good few months now, and you need to read it, because then you get to read this one, and like, like, like I thought I was only gonna give it 4 stars, but then those last few chapters, that ending, Lynette, what are you doing to me? Like, I can't. I was like, the pain that I went through at the last few chapters of this book. I can't, don't, like, I need the 3rd one. I'm being serious. Who do I need to go to get an arc of the 3rd one? Like, I will send Lynette Noni a bouquet of roses to get an arc of the 3rd book in this series, because I needed it like yesterday. So, like, this was amazing. This was so good. And I would recommend this series to anyone at this point. Read The Prison Healer and then read this. And then you can join me in the pain that I'm going through right now. The last book that I want to talk about was this was the first book that I completed in December. I'm kind of going backwards, but whatever. I hate to end on a low note, but Aroshan, the Song of Death. Okay, so my thing is, right, okay, so during the entire month of December, like I mentioned, I work in retail. It was the Christmas season. I was physically, mentally, and emotionally drained after nearly every single shift, because people absolutely suck. Like, for the most wonderful time of the year, everybody really sucks. But anyway, I just couldn't fully absorb this book. I don't know what it was. I just couldn't get into it. If this was an audiobook format, I definitely would have gotten through it a lot easier and a lot quicker. These books aren't available in an audiobook format. I don't know why. They should be, because every person, child especially, should be able to, read these books, because they are pretty wonderful. I do remember reading parts of this that I did really, really enjoy. But again, there was a good few parts of it where I just couldn't absorb what was going on in my head. Like, I don't know. I ended up giving it 3 stars. I did enjoy parts of it, but for the most part, I just couldn't fully absorb what was being laid out in front of me. Whether it had something to do with me or the book, I don't know. I'll probably put my hands up in the air and probably say it was me, because like I said, I was very, very drained and just too tired most evenings to sit and read. So, but I will continue on with this series. I have the 3rd book. I managed to get the 3rd book in hardback as well. Lord knows if I'm going to be able to get the other 2 in that format, but oh well. But like, I feel like every time I hold this up, I have something negative to say. It's not the book's fault, okay? It's not you, it's me. All right? You're fine. But again, like I said, if it was in audiobook format, I probably would have been able to absorb the words a little bit better, but it's not. Why is that? Why is it not? Okay. So yeah, those are all the books that I'm going to be talking about today. My January TBR should be up on Tuesday, so look forward to that. I don't know what books I'm going to be reading in January. I still want to figure that out. But yeah, let me know how your December went. Were you able to read a lot? Did you hit your reading goal? Let me know. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. I hope you're doing well. My Twitter, Instagram, Amazon wishlist, all down below as always. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the bell. Thank you once again for 200 subscribers. And I genuinely really appreciate every single one of you. I really, really do. You've made this old hag very, very happy. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Ta-ta!